Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the Pimp Slap POD, Mike M.
We are live and you are here. Let's go, Billy Briggs. How you doing, Dutch? What up, brother? Doctor, what's up, brother? LJ from the HLJ.
Mike, man, happy to be here, man.
T on the ones and twos, -7.5, the official number we'll use, and the lines move 2 points. And this is not a show to be late for.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be bumming! What up? What up? Happy Friday, TGIF to all you boys and girls out there in the chat today. Shout out to our guy T. Fridays, we got him back, holding us down, keeping us tight and right. And of course, shout out to Mike Kendall, LFA voiceover extraordinaire, giving us the blessing with his wonderful vocals to kick off the show with the best intro in the business, and it's only going to get better. Can't wait to go through tonight's card with everybody here. It's Friday. We made it to the weekend. It's Last Call. It's Pub Sports Radio. And yeah, we had a long late night last night. Man, it was a rough one. You guys made it a lot of fun. Thanks for jumping on to the live stream as well. Tons of gifted memberships for everybody. Our guy Wine Time back here again says, let's get this cash. He led the way last night with donations and gifting memberships. 'Tis the season, and it was a lot of fun. And it hurt a little bit too. Not gonna lie. But we're gonna move forward here. We got a great Friday card lined up here. We've got all sports in play here, with the exception of the NFL. And then, of course, this weekend we're back. It's bowl season. We've got college football, a big card on Saturday, and we've got football pretty much every day of the week for the rest of the month of December, leading into New Year's with some of those New Year's 6 bowl games as well. So it is the season. It's hard to believe December is literally half over already. And man, we're just trying to make the most of it here, right? We got to grind. It's the time of year that we got a lot of bills to pay, and we need to get some of that cash from these bookies to get it done. So tonight will be a lot of fun. We've got the NHL, we've got the NBA, we've got college basketball, and I'm excited to bring on my guy MMA Jeff to talk to us about this Saturday card. He's got 4 looks for us to get paid with this last UFC event of the year. It's a pay-per-view event. It's a big one. It's a championship title defense, and it's going to be something a little different we're going to give you guys here. He's won the last 2 of the last 3 Pub Sports Radio contests for the MMA, and we're going to bring his expertise in here and shine a little light on this card with a couple of spots that he's going to help us get that cash with. So that'll be a first for the show debutante, but should be a lot of fun to talk about that as well. And that looks like a great card. A couple scratch fights, but for those that are looking for something to do on Saturday, this pay-per-view event should be a banger. And of course, shout out to Pub Sports Radio hosting the free contest. They have that great MMA live stream with the boys, including T out there, mixing it up, getting it done, calling the fights, giving you guys the live reactions. But your opportunity to win $100 courtesy of Pub Sports Radio and Jeff Slaughter out there giving that gift, baby. $100. All you got to do is go on and register on the website, join the contest, enter your picks, and then watch along with the fellas on Saturday. So anyhow, we're here to talk about Friday. It is TGIF. And you guys know what's up here. We want to let you guys get some of you getting out of work, making the ride home, listening to us as you're driving. That's great. If you're home, you know what we ask, though. It's 3 things. First and foremost, hit that thumbs up button for us. Helps us grow and promote the brand. We need your help to do so, and it doesn't happen without giving us those thumbs up and letting people know that we are here rocking and rolling, kicking ass and taking names. 2, we ask you to get a pen and paper. Write down not just the plays the panel gives you, but those that are out there in the chat is sharper than ever and continuing to grow by the day, literally, with all those gifted memberships that we had yesterday. And the third thing we ask you to do, put your plays in the chat. Let us see what you're betting on. Let's see your favorite plays out there as well. Hey, win, lose, or draw, we do it together, but it's always fun to see what you guys are looking to put your cash on. I certainly get the pen out quite a few times when you guys are sharing those plays, and then follow along or certainly bet along as well. So let's get that cash and let's get paid. Shout out to everybody that's here. Anderson's a new member. He's back in the green, ready to rock and roll. J Smooth 16 says, let's get paid. Money bag Mike. Let's go, J Smooth. There's our guy, Wine Time. Let's go, Wine Time Sports. Had a lot of fun with him last night on the live stream. It's really shaping into form here. We got our guys looking at football, basketball, hockey. We had all the sports covered last night, and we were banging away on some of those live bets. It was a nice, fun evening to cash. Perky Bump Sanders says, yeah, here he comes, the man, Pimp Slap Where did the whiskey go? Yeah, I said somebody broke into my house last night. They drugged me, but they didn't take anything. They just drank my vodka and a half a bottle of Jack Daniels. I don't know what happened. I woke up, on the couch. I'm like, where am I? Who's here? I don't know, but they drank my fucking whiskey. Anyhow, let's keep going here. Wine Time Sports. Appreciate you, my guy. Of course, yesterday was a great day. A lot of fun. There's Justin McKelvey, right? McKelvey. I heard Jimmy the Bag breaking it down today, and goddamn, I'd be pissed off if I was giving you guys winners and you kept calling my name wrong. Come on now. Thank you, Justin, giving us that stacks POD with the Zags, man. Zags +4. I think the wrong team's favored in that game. It's not a game that I highlighted tonight, but we will certainly talk about that. And we've got a couple of college basketball games. It's a weird schedule. A lot of just frankly poor matchups is what I just looked out there. A lot of unranked teams, a lot of ungraded spots as well, unranked, no points, no lines on those as well. So got to make the most of what we can out there. Perky Bump Sanderson says Pacers first half money line or Lakers first half money line. He is flirting. He's trying to figure it out. Kong's Clip, shout out to Big Show on the ones and twos. Appreciate you too. Hey man, it's our guy. It's our guy T on the ones and twos, man. This is last call. Ain't fucking around out here. It's our guy T rocking and rolling with us here at Last Call. You know how he does. Come on. He gets it tight and right for everybody. Come on. That footballer 8 says joint. Let's go, my guy, that footballer. And Mr. Vape, the crew. Mr. Vape says, what's going on, fellas? Vegas Knights regulation over 5.5. Same gamer. The Zags over 153. And there's JPZ. What up, JPZ? What up? Motherfuckers, you know it. We're back. We're rocking. It looked like my chat kind of dropped out there. So shout out to everybody that's here, man. We got to get this thing rolling. We got a big card to break down for everybody tonight. And it's going to be, again, a lot of fun to talk about this thing. Just kind of trying to keep it tight and right, though. We got quite a few hockey spots there. And it looks like we're plus money hunters tonight. We're going to follow that plus money blood trail into the woods and see if we can't come home with the dinner. And I think we're going to do just that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the UFC. I'm really excited to talk about that stuff here. So shout out to everybody that's here rocking with us. Jerry TG says, very light night for me. Nashville Predators money line. That's it. Yeah, what is it? A 5-game hockey card here for a Friday. So very interesting to see. And then, of course, we're finally kind of 1 week beyond this in-season tournament with the NBA. So can't wait to get moving and get the real game, so to speak, moving here. Mike Wilkerson says, trying to flip this $400 onto a stack. Hopefully we can get you a stack, my guy. Let's go. Wine Time likes the Hawks +2 and the Pistons +15. Definitely going to talk about at least one of those. And you're good. You're good, Constance. I'm sure he's a forgive and forget kind of guy. So, let's go. We're going to move forward here. Bill McDonald says the NHL Preds +140. Joey Harb, what's up, guys? What up, Joey? Good to see you. Con Clips likes Brandon Miller, 2.5 plus 3-pointers tonight. And we're going to get going here. Let's get rocking. Let's talk about this here. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Again, if you haven't done so, please hit the thumbs up button. Get your pens and papers ready. But first and foremost, transparency is 100 important. The most thing we do here is talking about, these records and reflect and recap. And look, it was a 6-6 day yesterday. It's been kind of a middling week. It just hasn't been a real opportunity to move the ball down the field. We had that under in the Chargers game yesterday. What a mess that Chargers game ended up being. I mean, they scored 100 points. Who the hell knew? Thursday, teams can't score at all. All of a sudden, I guess in hindsight, it makes sense, right? The benefit of having that sports almanac from Back to the Future would be that they had that one highlighted and pounded away for that over. And we should have known that with the total moving 34.5, 35, 35.5, 36. I think it even closed around 37 in some spots. So it doesn't matter. That comfortably went over, and it was over pretty much in the first quarter. So we took an L on that one. We took an L with that Florida game as well. Man, I thought Florida, I don't know. East Carolina came to play. East Carolina rocked it down and gave us a big L. We did take that Tulane W, though, -6.5. That was the benefit of the line movement there. It was flirting around 7s and 7.5s. It drops to 6.5, and we got it done. We did well on the ice. We laced up the skates, and we're kind of getting back to our winning ways in hockey there. We took a win with the Philadelphia Flyers. We got that under 6.5 with Florida. We got the under 6.5 with Calgary as well. 2 under spots for us there. The ad, though, the experimental ad, if you will, with the new formula, took an L. That was a big plus money shot, the 2-1 spot with the Chicago Blackhawks. But NBA, we won the Cavs +9.5. We got that cover. We talked about this and the importance of recognizing the line movement, not for where the numbers come from and what the numbers say, but it's how the books react to that cash flow that's going to give you more tells than not. And it's winning at over a 60% clip, especially in some of these really sharp sports like the NBA. Those are opportunities to get that cash. And we talked about all that cash coming in on Boston, but they were dropping that line and making it more attractive to bet the Cavs. Hopefully you tailed us there. We added the Timberwolves +1. We got that winner. The Joker spot. Fucking what a Joker spot there. Denver gets the job done, but Joker, we had his over 27.5 points in that parlay, and he ends with a 26. And then we cleaned it up with a loss in OKC +2. And then we lost with Portland Trailblazers -3.5. So that brings us current, and that brings us here ready to talk about tonight's card. And that we will here. We're going to start this thing off and bust it out. You guys know the situation. Right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the games that we're going to cover. You'll see where we're at in terms of the games themselves. And the top of the screen, you'll see the plays that I have here. And every so often, you'll see the little parlay corner segment pop up. And that is, in fact, what we have tonight. It's a little three. We're taking a lot of plus money shots tonight here. Enough messing around. We're not here. We do not have the time and the patience to sit around and chip away at -110s. We got to take that plus money when we can. And that's what we're going to do here. So short and sweet, you'll see it on each of the screens. The parlay corner, we're going to rock the New York Rangers, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Dallas Stars. Not a lot to say about this thing here. I know it's a favorite spot and it's pretty chalky, but the New York Rangers are in a 31-3 spot right now. I don't want to lay the juice with the Rangers at that -310, but if you're thinking about these teams, right, if you're going to be one of those guys and gals that wants to get cute and says, I'm just going to blindly fade every team no team should be -300. Look, I get the sentiment. They shouldn't be that number, but they're that number for a reason. And in the NHL, when the home favorite is -310 or higher, it's 31-3. That 3 is the number of wins you got. So even if you're picking up 250s on the wins, you're still down significantly over the course. And I want to say that goes back to, I want to say it's April of 21. So I can look up the date and see how far that goes back if anybody's truly interested. But the average score is 4.4 to 2.0. The Rangers, when they play a West Coast team, Western Conference team, 24-6 with a win margin of 1.43 goals. It's the New York Rangers versus the Anaheim Ducks. We took a shot with the Ducks, but man, they're losers. They just lost outright to the Islanders there with letting a goal up in the last 2 minutes of play when they made it look like they might have a chance. Even though the money's coming in on the Rangers, it continues to move the line in the Rangers' direction as well. Usually we see the sharp money kind of popping on that plus money side and it starts to drop a little bit. That is not the case tonight. So the first leg of the parlay, the New York Rangers. The last leg of the parlay, which kind of weird spot, I guess, the way I put this together here. The last leg of the parlay, just to kind of cover this thing here, is a Vegas spot at home against a mediocre Sabres team at best. Now, not only is the Sabres team mediocre, they lost 2 of their last 3. They're 1-1-1 in those spots. You got Logan Thompson coming in for the Vegas Golden Knights at 4-0-1 in his last 6 games. And Vegas at home's 11-4 this season. They're not to be messed with when they're at home. Furthermore, if you last played your last 55 games with a hell 4 goals a game. So that's the second leg out there. Again, it's another juice spot, another juicy play. And then last but not least here, we're looking at the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars, Ottawa Senators. What we do, I was going to say Ottinger is the guy that's in net for the Dallas Stars tonight. And I like the spot. I think it's a good opportunity. Ottawa has not been playing well the last couple of games. They're just in a spot where they're not scoring a ton of goals with consistency. They are finding some of their stars kind of lackluster at best. And, when you look at the Dallas Stars, that's a hot team that's kind of been going through a little trial and tribulation themselves. They're on their 3rd game at home. They just lost to Vegas 6-1. They did put boots to ass on Detroit Red Wings. And here we go for their 3rd home start with, again, their best goaltender in Ottinger in net. On the flip side of things, the Senators came off a 4-2 loss last night. So it's a doubleheader. It's the second leg of a back-to-back for them. Big travel spot as well. They've been kind of moving across the country, north to south now in this case with this Ottawa Senators spot. It's not easy to get around from international travel to St. Louis. Then you got to go St. Louis to Dallas. And they've been losing. They lost 4-1 to Carolina. They lost 4-2, as I just mentioned. They did beat Detroit 5-1. So, heavier margin of victory there when it comes to that Detroit Red Wing spot, but then they picked up a loss against Toronto as well. So that's going to do the 3-leg parlay. I just kind of tried to rapid fire that thing for you before we jump into the actual specific straight plays here, but just kind of the layout, right? Taking some, I know they're juicy, without messing around with regulation. I'm not messing around with the -1s or -1.5s. We just need straight wins. They can go to overtime if they want. They can go to a 15-round shootout. Just come home and give us the cash. So let's talk about cash, and let's talk about the Cashville Predators here, right? We got Nashville playing against Carolina, and an interesting spot with this game, right? We've got the first and foremost, the public likes this road dog, and I can't complain. I can't say I don't, right? We're seeing a money line right now. It's plus 150 out there on DraftKings money line, plus 150. Moved a little bit from the 145 we had earlier today. And it's kind of a situation with the goaltending here where we've got Lankinen in net for Nashville. He boasted 3.03 goals against average, 90.4 save percentage. On the other side of things, we have Ranta at 6-5, 3.4 goals against average with an 86% save percentage. Not the guy that I think you want to get your money behind here, especially as a beefy favorite. What you do have with Carolina is this team just completed a Herculean, talk about flying all over the country. They were on the road in Edmonton, on the road in Calgary, on the road in Vancouver. Then they got to come all the way back to play from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. Now they come back to the East Coast to play Ottawa Senators. Then they got to travel from the international spot down to Detroit. They win that game 2-1. So they did have two big wins here as of late. But when they played decent teams in Vancouver, they lost 4-3. They lost 3-2 to Calgary at Calgary, where Calgary can't play very well at all. And then they lost against Edmonton 6-1 as well. On the other side of things here, you got a Predators team that's been, pretty prolific out there. They beat the Flyers 3-2. We were on that spot with Predators. Everybody and their brother and their mother took Philly in that spot for some reason. Don't know why, but not us. We got the Flyers, or we got the Predators. They did take Montreal down 2-1. 4-0 loss to Toronto. Okay, and that's at Toronto. Toronto does not play well at Toronto, but whatever, it is what it is. They beat Tampa Bay 5-1, and they beat Chicago 4-3. So this team's in that midst of running hot. And just a couple of little sputters out there specifically against that Toronto here. I just love this opportunity. You're going to give me a plus 150 spot against a team that just had a huge road trip, traveling literally all over North America to play hockey. And I get an opportunity to take a hot Predators team. Regardless of Lankinen's the backup goaltender or not, give me them Cashville Predators. And I'll see everybody at the window on that fucking play. Plus 150. Let's go. Let's take it and run with it. And then the next play we're going to talk about for you guys here, we're going to look at this Boston Islander spot. You got to keep the pipes lubricated here. You guys know what happens if I don't. Things get hoarse and scratchy here. So let's talk about this Bruins Islander spot. On paper, this one kind of looks coin flippy to me when I started breaking down the matchups and I started looking at the opportunities here when it comes to the goaltending. I did not see official confirmation with the goalies earlier. So let me just pull these up really quick. I knew there was a reason I didn't write them down there, but let me see. There we go. We have damn right, Leonis Allmark in goal, 9-4-1 with a 2.71 goal against average, 91.7% save percentage versus Ilya Sorokin, 8-4-6, 3-1-1 goals against average, 91.4% save percentage. And look, Spot, I love this opportunity here. Allmark starting for the third time in the last 4 games for the Bruins when they face the Islanders on tonight. That's the spot. Here we go. Allmark played well, 3 goals in each of his last 3 games, but they found a way to come out 2-1 in those spots. Big 5-2 victory when he last played against the Islanders, 27 of 29 saves out there. So somewhat of a revenge spot, but I'll tell you the spot you don't want to be in. You don't want to be in a spot where you're taking Boston off a loss. Has not fared well for many over the course of the NHL. In fact, going all the way back to April of 2021, so about 2 years, 2.5 years of data in this number, Bruins as a favorite off a loss, 53-13, 21-41 to the under. So the unders hit 41 out of 62 times in those spots. But I thought that was amazing to see a team like that. I know the Boston Bruins have been playing well, but again, with some of these injuries that they're dealing with, this number feels like we're getting them at a steal when it comes to a minus 120 out there. I think they have the better goaltending, and Boston's blessed and fortunate to have strong goaltending all around. But if Sorokin doesn't do much to surprise me out there, and that's what we have, that expected win factor. You guys remember when the Vegas lines a team between minus 110 and minus 170, that's kind of, hey, they expect you to win. You're the favorite in those spots. They're 140-89. So significant opportunity there as well. And I just think it's a great opportunity in this case here. Away favorites off a dog loss, 341-229 over the course of the last 5 seasons in the NHL. Away favorites off a dog loss, 341-229. Regardless of the outcome in this game, I mean, I certainly think we're going to get there with the Bruins money line here, but I can't imagine putting the money on the Islanders. I get it. They're home and what they've been doing, but not a spot I want to jump in and take advantage of the Islanders. I know they just beat Anaheim, but it was Anaheim. They just beat Toronto. They just beat LA. They're clearly having the best stretch of their season right now with some of those spots out here, but at some point, fatigue's got to set in. Kings are probably the best team in the NHL. Toronto's, Toronto ain't no bitches, I guess is the way I would best describe it. And then they beat up on an Anaheim team, but they only scored that to win that game with about 2 minutes left in the game. And again, I thought Anaheim could find a way to get that job done. On the flip side of things, the Bruins haven't been going through the best patch. They did lose to the Sabres 3-1, but then they come back and they beat the Coyotes 5-3, lost to New Jersey 2-1 in that spot where it was a rested, interesting kind of rest return home spot for the New Jersey Devils. And I believe we were on the Devils in that game. So anyhow, a good spot. I think that we take the Boston Bruins and we take advantage of that minus 120 spot that's out there for us. In fact, let me just double check the line and make sure that still is the best number we can get. And in fact, it is. Bet Rivers, our friends, loading up a minus 120 for us. So let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about this next game here. A lot of card to cover. And we got our guy ready to rock out there to give us the ways to get paid in the UFC this weekend. So let's keep it moving here. Let's talk about this next game here. We've got the San Jose Sharks and the Arizona Coyotes. This was at first I was kind of like, do I want to stay off of this game here? Then I started breaking it down and I said, hell no, I don't want to stay off of this thing. We got a shot at a nice plus 165 score out there. So that's exactly what we're going to try to take advantage of here. Two teams that are moving in different directions is really the cap for this game as it breaks it down here. We've got a spot where we've got, Kakinen in goal at 5-6-1 for the San Jose Sharks. Ingram at 11-6. But remember, that record's a little misleading because Ingram's been on a struggle. He's lost 4 straight games. And on the other side of things, San Jose is 3-1 in their last 4 games. So, you've got a spot where Arizona now is 0-4 straight. 8 of 9 starts in the last 9 games for Ingram as the Coyotes goaltender out there. They broke him. You remember we talked about that. They rode him too hot, and then he started to lose, and they had to kind of flip gears and put that back up in there. He's let 12 goals in on his last 96 shots. That's good enough for an 87.8 save percentage. He did have 40 saves on 43 shots, but it was a 4-2 loss to Pittsburgh. So even though he was playing well, that offense has truly kind of regressed at this point, and I think that's what we see here. It's Kakinen's 4th start in 8 games, so he's not coming in terribly rusty. He's used to that back and forth situation. And the thing about San Jose Sharks right now, they've got points in 4 straight games. They're 3-0-1 in 4 straight games. They're either winning them outright or they're finding a way to push them all the way to the brink when it comes to overtime. So 3-0-1. Kakinen's 4-1 in his last 5 starts here, and you're giving me a plus 165 spot. I get it. San Jose's not good at 9-17-3. There's no question about it. But at some point, you got to dig down and say, give me the opportunity here with this plus money. And that's, in fact, what we're doing. I'm not sure if it makes me nervous or I get excited about this card itself when you start thinking about this day here, because there are so many plus money opportunities in the NHL. But, we did bundle together those big favorites. And I just think here's a spot to take advantage. They beat Winnipeg 2-1 San Jose. They lost 5-4 to Vegas in Vegas. So, yeah, it's a loss, clearly. But Vegas, one of those teams that's kind of finding their groove again after winning the Stanley Cup. And they played them well to a 5-4 spot. They beat Detroit 6-5. They beat the Islanders 5-4. And they lost to the Rangers 6-5. Every single one of those games is a 1-goal game out there. And you got a plus 165 shot. Not too much more thinking required. If you do want to give it a little more consideration, if you last played Columbus, the Capitals, or the Jets, you're 41-33 in those next series of games. So it comes down to an opportunity where, for whatever reason, those teams build confidence. That's one of those trends that we've been riding as of late, and it's been paying dividends for us. So San Jose Sharks at plus money is the opportunity for us there. And that should do it for the NHL. The one spot I did look at with this Buffalo-Vegas game, I was thinking about the over in this thing. I did like it. I don't have an official play on it. Obviously, it's that last leg of the parlay. I've got to sit with this one a little bit longer here. I know that we're here at last call, but this game doesn't pop off until 10 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock tonight, something like that. So 10 o'clock tonight. On first pass, I was thinking, well, Vegas minus 1.5 makes a lot of sense to me. But then I started looking at the goal factors out there, and I'll share with you guys kind of the thought process. Again, when you previously played Calgary, now you're a home favorite. You're 40-15. When you previously played Calgary or Montreal, the over has hit 21 out of 26 times. I mean, that's a big factor. But the Vegas home ice has been an under rink this year. It's 5-10 to the under. The average score being 3.5 to 2.1. Again, I mentioned on the top of the show, there's no Jeff Skinner out there for the Buffalo Sabres. And I think that depletes that roster. They've got the tooth factor with the baby that was just born out there. And so, Vegas coming off the dad's trip, everyone was feeling good. The vibes were high right now. I think the Sabres are going to get blasted in this game. I just, once bitten, twice shy, I guess, with the Sabres team, right? We locked up at 6.5 with the Colorado game. They lose the thing 5-1. They couldn't get that extra goal for us. So, I'm a little concerned that their offense isn't going to get it done. Do I want to go out there and drop the -1.5? I guess we'll have to see what the parlay is doing, right? We'll have to see how far along this parlay is with those 2 games prior to it with the Rangers and Dallas before I finally make a decision on that. I do like that puck line sitting there at -120 or plus 125 for a -1.5 over at Bet River. So just a couple thoughts out loud on that game that I'm going to, but let's keep it moving here. We've got the MMA guru behind stages ready to go with us here. So we've got to keep a brisk pace, and we're going to talk a little bit about college basketball. We started out pretty low, I think, on the college basketball front there. But again, as we found some data moving in the right direction, we are now moving and moving confidently when it comes to some of these college basketball spots here. And unfortunately, weird schedule, as I mentioned. You've got just a lot of teams that, St. Mary's playing St. Francis, PA. I didn't really see much of an edge or an angle there. Utah Grand Valley's playing Texas A&M Corpus Christi for the second time in like 2 weeks now, so there's an opportunity, but I just didn't want to get involved with that. Not happy enough with Cleveland State and the way they've been playing to take the 10 against Bradley. But when I kind of drilled down to the 10 p.m. slate, I did find 2 spots that I like here. And no, they're not the Gonzaga-UConn game. I do think Gonzaga's going to win that game. I know it's kind of it is a neutral court. They're playing in Seattle, but UConn's traveling from the East Coast. They're not going to have any fans in the stands unless they're just, championship trophy chasers out there. And that could very well be the case. I mean, UConn's a bad team. They're not to be messed with. But Seattle, give me them Zags at +4.5, I think is the number right now. But nothing official for that. Let's talk about this Fresno State game, though. Fresno State, California, Bakersfield out there. We've got the line open to 10, has dropped to 9.5 in some spots. So you do want to line shop. 63% of the bets, 43% of the cash on the Fresno State side of things. And that we're seeing marginal movement, maybe that half a point down. Not a big fan of that, but I'll share some numbers with why I got to this Fresno State spot of things here. The total opened at 134, 69% of the bets and 54% of the cash on the over, and it's not moving. And if anything, it's 133.5 that's out there now. You guys know I'm a big fan when I see that correlation there. The under, to me, correlates to the favorite coming out there and handling their business. And I think business they do handle. Cal State is 4-5. I get it. Bakersfield, 4-5 team. Fresno's not killing it out there at 5-4. But I think when you look at the body of work these teams have put out there and the travel spots, Fresno State, just off of back-to-back wins, they beat Pacific and they beat Idaho State. But they didn't just beat them. They beat the shit out of them. 89-56 against Pacific for Fresno State. They were laying 13.5, and they came in there and they handled their business. When there was 9 points, they handled their business against Idaho State. They beat them by 12 points out there. They took a loss to BYU as a 15-point dog. BYU is a good team, not to be messed with, but I think that sharpens their sword a little bit. You look and they played the Gauchos. They won 69-65 loss to the Gauchos, a 1.5-point favorite. And then you look at James Madison, and they got beat down by James Madison. They were getting 5 points as a dog, and they lost by 31 points. Where I'm going with this is when you look at the lines out there for this team, when they're in that 9-point or higher range, they're covering. When the books expect them to go out there and handle business, it is business that they handle. On the flip side of things with Bakersfield, tough team here, 3 straight losses. They did play the Zags. I get that. They covered the spread, but they were getting 27.5 points. So, I would hope you cover it with 27.5 points, but I just look at this team and I think here we got a better offer in terms of the matchup and the way these kind of two teams run it down. Home favorites in the conference, total less than 141 with this Fresno State specific spot, 41-3 opportunity out there. So way too much value for me to go out there and take a Fresno State team. I know that the money wants to come in on that Bakersfield side of things, but I think it's because of the unknown with Fresno State. Granted, Fresno State's not the team they've been the last couple of years, but I think they're going to figure it out here. I think this is that opportunity for them to get right. And we know when these lines are set the way they are with this particular team, they do get the job done. So give me Fresno State. Big home opportunity for these boys to get up and get right, and I think they do. And then the next game I want to talk to you guys about here is this Portland State game. And not a lot of trend or data behind this one other than just teams that I've been watching. I don't know why it is that I seem to be watching this team particularly in Portland State. Maybe it's because we had Portland the other week there when they played Portland State. And I remember we were on Portland. We did fade Portland State in that spot. But here's where we got this cash flow movement in our direction. We've got 50% of the bets and 55% of the cash on Portland State. We've now seen it move from opening at -1 to -1.5. And now they're starting to see some twos out there. 67% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the over, and it has moved 3 points. So a little pause for concern out there, but Portland State at San Diego Toreros, they're 7-4, 8-2 Portland State spot. It's just a good opportunity for a team with a low number here. We got a team that plays, frankly, I think the difference in this one's the defense. It seems like the stronger defense teams that we look at that are ranked higher in KenPom standings and across college basketball are the teams that find a way. Defense is what's going to win these games for these teams. And if you look at how a team like San Diego shoots, they're a middle of the pack shooting team. So they don't shoot the 3-point very well. If you literally look at their shooting stats, they are middle of college basketball galore, shooting the ball, 3-point shooting, free throw shooting, just a mediocre, actually average, not even mediocre, just average. Mediocre to me would imply you got talent and you're just not finding a way to get it done. Average is probably a better way to say it in this case here. I just think this is an average San Diego team. They win some, they lose some. They won outright as a dog to Arizona State. That was a big win for them. And that's kind of supports, I want to fade a team after kind of that career or that season defining win. And I think that was the case. When you look at, they played Utah State, they got blasted by Utah State, 108-81, getting 19 points, couldn't get the job done. They played at Stanford. They were getting 14.5 points. They couldn't get the job out, losing 88-64. Just not a when it comes to fading and depending on the outcome of this game here. But I think Portland State's defense is going to prevail for us. The line supports the movement in our direction. And it's 110. So that will be the number we will use for show purposes. How do you like it? Prerogative. Make sure you get that +2 if that's the case out there. So, I'll help you try to get there. So if that's the case, let's talk about the association. We got a couple of games to get into. Then we're going to get to our man back there to talk UFC, and you'll see it's a slim slate for me with this NBA. I wanted to jump in and take Atlanta. Kind of gave me a little concern though. I guess it's that 90% factor, right? Am I freezing up? I'm gonna say I'm okay, Tease, but we'll see. We'll take a look here. Atlanta down to -1. Atlanta want to be with that cash, and ultimately that's concerned me. Now I do see that the line has moved 2s to 1.5s out there, but in this case, I think it's the right opportunity. So. I want to get to Atlanta. They're saying they lost me. You guys can see me, right? Are we okay?
Yeah, you freeze every 10, 20 seconds.
Are we good now?
Yeah, you're good now. Just when you start talking, sometimes it freezes a little bit, but we could just work through it.
All right, we'll work through it. Let's keep it going here. Let's not slow down. Bottom line for me, it was an official play. I just don't love everybody, their brother and their mother on it. Just not a spot I want to get involved with here. It's an early game for me as well with the 7:30 start. Toronto, when Toronto's at home, difficult team. I mean, both these teams, you think about how bad Atlanta is. They just don't cover any spreads. They don't get the job done, but they sport the same record as Toronto. So this truly is a legitimate rematch, revenge spot here. These two teams just played each other, and Toronto beat up Atlanta 135-128. So, the question is, well, what happens when these teams do come off of a situation where they're playing the same opponent again? And we saw this yesterday with the Cavaliers, right? The Cavaliers were able to come out there and cover against that Boston Celtics team. And I think we see the same again. I'm not going to flip through too many screens here to kind of loot this thing here, but I think it's a spot that Atlanta can get the job done. I think it's a spot that can get the job done. With 90% of the cash on it, that's just not a spot I want to have my money. So let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about this next game for you guys. We're going to talk about the Pacers and the Wizards. And I do have a play in this spot, and I'm going to rock and roll with you guys know the package I like to put together. I like to say, screw those points. Give me a prop to go into this thing. So it is in essence the same game parlay, but it gives us a +112 spot. And, I'm not in the business with the Pacers team. I don't want to lay 8 points. The other thing that scares me about this is the Pacers, 69% of the bets and 54% of the cash on the Pacers. And the line's really not moving. If anything, a half a point, maybe. As far as the total, 48% of the bets, 43% of the cash on the over. We are seeing that thing move, but this is a 260. I mean, this is all-star category in terms of totals with these points. I think it's the highest lined total in the NBA history for a regular season game. That was a stat that I came across today. So I don't want to get involved when it comes to that land the points with this kind of a blowout spot. The Wizards stink. The Wizards don't play any defense. And at the end of the day, for me, the spot that I ended up going here was that little same game spot. I'm going to take the Pacers. I had a Turner over 8.5 rebounds out here. The first and foremost, the Wizards allow the most rebounds to any teams in the NBA. They're allowing 57.7 rebounds in a game. Every one of their rebound props cashes every single day that they go out there and play because they just are league punching bags when it comes to that opportunity. And when you look at Miles Turner, he's a guy that gets 8 rebounds per game. So, that being said, are we asking him to push it up a little bit? Yeah, we need that 8.5. I'm aware of what his margin is and what his average is for the season, but 10 rebounds in 3 games this month already. So it's not like he's not afraid to go out there and get it done. He's got Daniel Gafford as his opposing center. And I think it's a really good spot to turn this Pacers -8 or -9 into a plus money opportunity out there when we add the Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds out there. The matchup dictates this opportunity for us, and it's a plus 112 spot. Keep it rolling. Let's talk about this next game. Battle the technical difficulties if that's what we're having here. It looks like we stabilized here, but let's see what happens. We'll keep it rolling. Let's go. Let's talk about this next game. And yep, we're running it back. If you guys need the explanation, you can go back and listen to that last show. But look at the number. Same matchup, same position, just played the same team. And it went from a plus 235, I want to say, was the money line parlay last game, cashed with comfort. And Wembanyama got ejected that last game, right? It was towards the end. So opportunity here to run this thing exactly back. We're going to take the 12 plus rebounds for Wemby, parlayed with the 3 plus blocks. Why wouldn't you? And now it's a plus 198. Same team, same matchup, same exact play. And look, Wemby, 6 blocks and 13 rebounds that last game against the Lakers just 2 days back. So, here we go. He has 3 or more blocks in 5 of his last 6 games. So we'll check that box. And he's got 12 or more rebounds in 4 of his last 5 games. Again, we just cashed it. And if San Antonio thinks they're going to get this job done, they better board up. And it's going to start with Wemby. So we're going to take a shot at this thing again, almost 2.5. And there's our guy EQ says leaning Wemby over 21.5 points, and not a difficult way to go. I think that's not a bad play either. So North, if LeBron doesn't play, then we have to bet Spurs. Yeah. I mean, I thought they were going to get the job done, last game here. I didn't give you guys the cash flow. My bad. It opened at +4, 46% of the bets and 69% of the cash on that Spurs spot. And it has moved a point in their direction. So opened at 4, now sitting at 5. Then you look at the Lakers, the total opens at 232.5, moves to 234.5, 74% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the over. And JPC says the whole starting 5 is a game time decision. That's not a spot you want to be in when it comes to getting your cash on there. Another spot that I looked at that I almost pulled the trigger on was the Magic. The Orlando Magic have been playing incredibly well. I just couldn't get there. I don't want to be, negligent to the card. It's just I wanted to try to keep a thinner card today to really try to capitalize on these spots that are out there because there's a number of plus money spots, and I don't want to give something back by taking a shot. I mean, Orlando's just red hot when it comes to covering the spread. I just couldn't get there. But there is one more game in the NBA I got to. Let's talk about it next. We do have this Knicks and Suns game, and I saw somebody in the chat. Somebody in the chat said something about the Knicks, but I'm not on the Knicks. I went to the total in this game. I get it. The Knicks opened up at +5.5, 36% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the Knicks. It's moved to 0.5 point, so we do have +5s. We're starting to see some 4.5s out there. So this is a later game. There's there's 41,000 tickets on the game. So it is getting some action enough that I think these numbers make sense. Then as far as the total is concerned, opened at 230. Now we've got 232.5 out there. 68% of the bets, only 47% of the cash means that some of that bigger money is coming in on the under. And I got to take advantage of that under here. I'll tell you, when it comes to the numbers here, the X's and O's for this thing, it's a terrific under spot for the Knicks. And let me, what happened to this other thing here? Let me pull this up. Let's get to it. And I'll give you guys the trying to get these screens here. When he told me I was freezing, I started to shut some things down, and I shut my screen down here. The New York Knicks 15-0 to the under when they've got rest following a game in which they committed fewer than 15 turnovers, attempted 29 or more free throws, and made fewer than 43 field goals. So in theory, bottom line is it's that kind of physical game factor. We've talked about that when it comes to hockey. These numbers kind of correlate to that with the NBA as well. After a physical game, things kind of slow down, they grind out, and they cover the spread in those totals by 15.27 points. It's a comfortable margin. I know 232.5 has moved up. The Phoenix Suns 18-0 to the under as a favorite of 1.5 points or more when they're following a loss and an opponent that went over its last game. So here we go, intersecting 0 spots for us. Give me them New York Knickerbockers. We'll wear the short pants tonight. We will take the under in that game, under 232.5 official play for the NBA. And that'll do it for the association. And I'm excited to bring on our next guest here. I told them it would be about 6:40, and so I'm running behind here, but we will make it up, and I'm excited. Guys, get the pens and papers out. Set the alarm clock for tomorrow. We have a big UFC 296, and our man, MMA Jeff, coming in here, rocking and rolling, sharing his looks. Guys, won 2 of the last 3 pub sports contests. Jeff, what have you been doing with all your winnings?
Tipping sports pub radio back. Giving a little back to the boys.
Paying it forward, man. There it is. Good karma from him. And shout out to our guy, Ian Shaver, as well, gifting a membership to Pub Sports Radio. Guys, make sure you get your hands on that thing. $4.99 a month. If you haven't done so already, become a member. Helps us a ton. We continue to invest in programming, bringing you guys new content like we did with the Wednesday show, The Boys, all about the hoops, giving you guys another show, another live stream that's going to give you cash. So there's Swig Bets. This is JM Hockey 19. Yeah, buddy. You want to know how you get on camera, Swig? You go out there and you win the UFC contest, not once, but twice in 3 weeks, and everybody pays attention. So excited to bring our guy on. And I know a lot of you guys are looking for more. I know that Pub Sports does a terrific job with their MMA breakdowns throughout the week here. But we're coming in with a champion, going to break it down and give us the looks that he likes for this card. So it should be fun. It's going to be Leon Edwards, Colby Covington as the main event to break it down. But you'll see here the card that we've got from our guys got 4 plays for us. And I'm going to do my best. To to pronounce these guys' names, Jeff. But
I'm hoping you say them so I don't have to.
I mean, it looks like I don't want to get in trouble here. It looks like Shamil Gasayev versus Martin Boudet. And I think that's going to get us done here. But what a way to open the card. It's a heavyweight battle. T, if I did a bad job, just give me the thumbs down on it so I don't humiliate myself saying it again. But it looks like I got the thumbs up back there. So we got Gasayev at 5. He's 11-0. He's got 5 straight wins. Coming off the Contender Series with a rear naked choke. And then on the other side of things, we've got Martin Boudet, who has made his UFC debut and 4 straight wins since winning the Contender Series. Jeff, what do you think about this fight?
I actually like that both guys came from the Contender Series. They shows they're up and coming. They obviously Dana White likes them. Putting these two together, I thought was kind of strange for the opening fight on the prelims. I don't think it should obviously be on the main card, but the fact that it's the opening fight, I was a little surprised. But I'm going with Gasayev. I'm going with him. Got the reach advantage, the 1-inch reach advantage. I see this fight staying on the feet. Both guys have submitted people in the past, so they do have tendency to go down to the mat. But ultimately, I'm going with Gasayev. He hasn't lost as a pro fighter. I mean, Boudet's only lost once as a pro. So ultimately, I see this one ending early. But my official pick would be Gasayev. He started out as a plus 140 a couple of days ago, at least with my book, and then dropped to 120. Now it's plus 110. DraftKings, I think, had it at plus 105. So public, somebody's on it, moving the line. So get it. I grabbed it, like I said last night, at plus 120.
I like it. We got a little plus money spot. We got the line moving in the direction, and we got a UFC debutante. Those are always a tricky spot to be involved with. And yeah, you're right. Both of them coming from the Contender Series, but I think it's a good spot for Boudet to take a beat down. And he's won 4 in a row coming into the UFC. I know it's the heavyweight division, so anything's capable of happening here. I don't like to fuck with guys that are out of Russia. I mean, those guys got chins made of steel. So if it does go the distance there, to me, it feels like that's an opportunity for the debutante to come out there and get it done. But hey, maybe he wants the fight of the night. I mean, the guy's from Bahrain. I don't know anybody from Bahrain, but I'm looking forward to seeing this guy out there kicking some ass and taking some names. So that should be a fun one.
He's also from Dagestan. You know, those boys like to fight.
Yeah, they don't mess around when it comes to the yeah, there you go. Andrew G says he's from the Dagestan Mountains. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Please appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for sharing the look, Mount St. Mary's. Jeff, tell us a little bit about this parlay that we see down there in Parlay Corner. Looks like a plus 250 spot for us.
Yeah. Well, I guess you want to run through the picks, or you want to go right to the parlay?
Oh, we'll go through. Let's go. The Parlay Corner should still be there. We'll go to the next pick here for you. You want me to say the name for you? I get it. I get it. So we've got Tager Yolambikov, right? Did I say that one right? Yolambikov? All right. I got the so out of Tease. I won't say it again to embarrass myself. He's going up against Cody Durden. I said that one right, I think. I've seen the movie Fight Club enough to be able to nail that one here. 14-2 versus 16-4-1. And a battle of, what we've got here is the flyweight division, number 10 versus number 13. 2 fights back for Tagir, whatever. Tim Elliott lost by a decision. And how did he respond from that decision? He comes back and he gets the standing guillotine choke. I remember that was literally a year ago, and he hasn't fought since. On the flip side of things here, Cody Durden has done nothing but pick up W's. He's had a busy year. A year and a half ago, he takes down JP Buys with a knockout. To start this year off, 1 year back, Carlos Mota, 8-1. He wins by decision. He's got another decision to Charles Johnson. And then last but not least, decision to Jake Hadley as well, 3 months and 3 weeks ago. So we got a decision guy versus a guy that hasn't fought in a year, Jeff. What do you think for us?
Well, obviously, as you see the pick there, going with Yulambakov. But the thing I like about Durden is he's from American Top Team. He trains there, which to me seems I don't know, makes me a little nervous going against him. But ultimately, if he's got a shot to win, he's going to win it early. And I think Yulambakov, I don't think he's got any KOs. So I don't know. I'm going with Yulambakov. I took him on the I took him straight up at the minus 170. Ultimately, I think it's going to go over by decision. So if you want a fun play plus money, Yulambakov by decision plus 150. But my official play is Yulambakov to win outright.
Cheshire Cat, I see it, man. We're talking UFC right now. This is going to be the Saturday event. Yeah, the boys are saying it's UFC. Big Scott 510 says he has no gas tank. Fernando Mendoza, Mitchell winning outright. He trains with me. Fernando Mendoza. Hopefully you're going to make it down to Southtown so you can roll in my corner and nobody's going to mess with us if you're out there training in the dojo, in the cage. Our guy getting it done. Vulcan says Big Scott like Buddy does. Vulcan says Boudet is so bad I could beat him. Rob, yeah, there we go, boys. The Cheshire Cat says thanks. Wine time. Perky Bump Sanderson. I can't super max bet the Lakers. They have like 6 guys playing, but you seem confident. And then Vulcan says Bresky had 115 strikes over Boudet 60. I remember that fight, and that was not something that I wanted to get involved with, but I think I ended up taking the L on that one. And I remember saying to myself, how the hell did I lose that one? And that's happened more than enough times. That's why we have MMA Jeff here to break it down for us. Perky, want to hammer them since the lines moved. And then Cheshire Cat says, I've never heard of the guy before. Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's get it going. Let's rock and roll. Let's keep going.
Which guy hasn't he heard of?
I wonder if he's talking about, I don't know. It's hard for me to pay attention I catch you. I'm bottom up in the chat. So when I see the chat and it's bottom up for me, I start saying things that are off there, but I can't find a way to get it done. So I'm picking up the end of a conversation and it doesn't make any sense. There we go. Vulcan Arctic. If I'm saying that, man, you guys are challenging me today with some of these names here. You didn't see the night that I had last night? Man, it was rough. Yeah, I'm happy. I locked Gasayev at plus 150. There you go, man. Capitalize on that line movement. We debate this thing and we've been talking forever about bringing Jeff on to talk about the MMA. Even back before last call started, we were trying to figure out a way to kind of get moving on this stuff. But, fortunately, we've got the opportunity in front of us now. And, when you start looking at these things, we debated, like, when do you position the MMA because we want to see the weigh-ins, right? We don't want to be the first guys to give you bad information. We want to try to give you those spots to get those winners. And I can appreciate the breakdown and the essence and the philosophy of the fight and the fighters themselves, but we're post weigh-ins now. So we've had a time to see who struggled with the weight cut. We've got time to see, who's ready to go, what potential injuries have floated out from the camps and any of those scratch fights as well, so that we don't waste our energy. So Friday, was the time that we decided to come here and give you guys this action. And we're excited that you guys are hopefully enjoying it. And hopefully we can come out here and give you guys a way to navigate what should be a fun card. So next fight that we'll talk about, keep it moving here. Rachmanov versus Stephen Thompson here, 17-0, the number 4 welterweight in the world. Nomad Rachmanov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 17-6-1. As a personal side note, I hope Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gets his Wonderboy ass kicked personally. I know he's coming off that KO from Kevin Holland. He sent Kevin Holland to retirement after that fight, but I think Holland was ready to hang it up anyway. So that was kind of the mercy opportunity out there where he got kind of pawed around. Before that,
I think he announced that before the fight that it was his last one.
Bilal Muhammad, he gets a decision on that as well, and a decision against Gilbert Burns that both went against him. So he got the back into the ring with the retirement fight there, but I just hope he gets bitch slapped in this thing. I don't know why, just not a guy I like. And then on the other side of things, from Kazakhstan here, we've got a finish. He won a submission 9 months ago. He had a submission a year and a half ago. And then a year and 10 months ago, we got the spinning hook kick to the ground strikes KO for our guy, Rachmanov. Jeff, tell us what you think about this one.
As you see the bet there, I'm going with Rachmanov by submission. The minus 650, I think it dropped to minus 635 last I looked, but ultimately, biggest fave on the card. I typically go the dog on that, but he's just too good. He's working his way towards the title shot. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gets one after this win he's got coming up here. Thompson's 40 years old. I don't like the 40-year-old fighters. Obviously, nobody really does. But
I'm 41 now. I mean, shit.
Yeah. What was it, next month, I think, or something? But he's an inch shorter. He's got 2-inch reach disadvantage. I don't see it staying on the feet. Rachmanov's going to drop him down. Again, submission inside, inside the distance. I'm going with Rachmanov. He's just, again, like I said, the next couple of months, you're going to see him holding the belt. UFC wants to see it.
Looking for the strap, and he's a big favorite, so I like getting creative with the plus money spot there. Vulcan says Rachmanov's very good, but Stephen Thompson's also good, but only on the feet. Rachmanov by submission might be the play as well. That's going to do it there, right? That's three spots here. Now we got the parlay here. Nice juicy opportunity. Tell us a little bit about the makeup of this parlay for us.
Well, again, ultimately I threw Yulim Bakov there. I threw him in there. Bryce Mitchell took this fight on short notice, but Emmett, I'm not a big fan of Emmett. If he does have a shot to win this fight, it's going to be by KO. And Mitchell's, I don't think he's ever been KO'd. So the other thing with Mitchell is he took this fight because he's a young buck looking to get into the top 5 and get a title shot himself. So I jumped on Mitchell on that one. And then Aldana, again, same thing. She's 35. This is her final push to get into the. I'm not sure what she's ranked, I guess, at this point, but she's making her push to get into the top 5. This is her last shot at a title fight. Ultimately, I don't see many women fighters getting past 36, 37, still fighting. You see these men. Some of these guys go 40, 41, but I don't see a lot of the women jumping in fights that old or getting that old. But no, it's the fight of Mexico versus Brazil. We'll see what happens. But I always say the women don't have knockout power, but Aldana's last 3 wins, not her last 3 fights, but her last 3 wins have been by KO, which is surprising to me, again, from a women's perspective. But I think she's going to do it. I like Rosa as a fighter personally, but I still think she's young. I think she's taking a step up here trying to fight Aldana. But I think she's going to be up and coming, but ultimately I think Aldana's going to take this one. So I threw those 3 together. I was a plus 250. I got it at. Yeah, you got it on the screen there. That's those are the plays I chose for this week, anyways.
All right. Well, we got 3 plus money shots and then a minus 170 favorite in there as well. So our guy MMA Jeff coming in, rocking and rolling, and getting it done for us. So appreciate you coming on, sharing the looks. I know you're going to do some things tomorrow to break down the entirety of the card as you have some more time to kind of sit with it and formulate it out there. So go ahead and follow our guy on Twitter, XJMHockey19, and he'll help you get to the windows when it comes to this UFC stuff. So appreciate you dropping in, being ready to give us some spots, and go out there and get that contest again. Good luck Saturday winning the Pub Sports contest.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And hey, everybody, smash that like button.
Let's go. That's our guy rocking and rolling for us here. Guys, it's been a great show here. Wrapping it up here. I'll give you guys one last recap, and then we'll go off and get you guys ready to get paid. We got a 3-legger, Rangers, Vegas, Dallas, plus 185. We got the Nashville Predators, plus 150. The Boston Bruins, minus 120. And the San Jose Sharks at plus 165. Still sitting on that Vegas game. We'll see how that thing moves later on. I rock Fresno State, minus 9.5. Portland State, minus 2. I moved from official to just a lean on that Atlanta side of the game here, Toronto and such. I'm not going to get involved with that, but I did same game parlay the Pacers and Miles Turner over 8.5 rebounds for a nice plus 112 spot. I went back to it, the Wemby prop spot for us there, plus 12 plus rebounds, 3 plus blocks, plus 198. And then we've got the Knicks under 232.5. Our guy, Jeff, MMA Jeff, comes in and gives us Shamil Ghazayev at plus 110. Yulambikov at minus 170. He also said he likes him to potentially win by decision. He's got Rachmanov by submission at plus 120, and he's got the 3-leg parlay. Yulambikov, Mitchell, and Aldana at plus 250. I'm sure I butchered those names. If they're going to make this thing and you guys enjoy it, we'll keep doing it. I'll get better with the names. So appreciate everybody rocking tonight. I hope you guys have a terrific weekend, cashing tons of bets. We have all kinds of things popping up with Pub Sports this weekend, including college basketball opportunities there, the new show on Saturdays with Jeff Nadeau. The gang is going to be live streaming Saturday afternoon. Of course, we got the MMA and UFC. Let's see if we can't bust through 200 people to register for that contest. It's a free to enter opportunity. All you got to do is go to the Pub Sports Radio website, enter that contest, and again, get your shot to try to beat MMA Jeff and go for a victory here and stand in his way from going 3 of 4 to close off the MMA calendar. And a lot of fun. We've got the Sunday, of course, the NFL Pub Hub hosted by our guy, Jimmy the Bag, and then a live stream. Our boys are going to be kicking and rolling the Sharpie Zone there, the Red Zone channel, him and Big Show put on. Follow it up Sunday night with a big live stream, live football. Excited to just hang out with everybody today, man. We got to do what we got to do. I got to get hydrated again and get ready to rock this weekend. So enjoy your weekends as well. Again, everybody in the chat, Perky Pump Sanderson, Dan Kelly, Cheshire Cat, Andrew G, Steve G. Let's rock. Vulcan Arctic, appreciate your contributions. Haven't seen you comment in the past, so appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're here to stay. Keep giving us them looks with the MMA as well. Everyone wants to find a way to get paid. Big Scott 510, Jeffrey Blue, the gang showed up. Fernando Mendoza as well. Appreciate everybody, man. We're gonna get up out of here. I'm getting the hook, baby. Let's go get them tickets.